I never expected my life to become the kind of story people tell for generations. If someone had told me years ago that the quiet woman I married would turn out to be the most powerful leader in the galaxy, I would have laughed. But life has a strange way of revealing truths slowly, like a curtain being pulled back piece by piece. My name is Daniel Carter, and 10 years ago, I was just a small-town mechanic living in the desert outskirts of Nevada. I fixed trucks, tractors, and the occasional broken-down car that wandered into my dusty garage. My life was simple, predictable, and honestly a little boring. Everything changed the night I met her. It was late, almost midnight, when I heard something strange outside my garage. At first, I thought it was thunder, but the sky was completely clear. Then the ground shook slightly, and I saw a flash of blue light in the desert behind my shop. Curiosity got the better of me. I grabbed my flashlight and walked toward the source of the light. About half a mile away, behind a group of rocks, I saw something unbelievable. A sleek metallic craft had crashed into the sand. It wasn't like any aircraft I had ever seen. The surface of the craft glowed faintly, almost like liquid metal. Before I could even process what I was looking at, a section of the craft slowly opened. And out stepped a woman. She looked human at first glance, tall, graceful, with dark hair and pale, glowing eyes. She was injured, barely able to stand. When she saw me, she collapsed. I rushed forward and caught her before she hit the ground. "Please help me," she whispered weakly. Her voice sounded human, but there was something unusual about it, almost musical. I carried her back to my garage and treated her injuries as best as I could. Over the next few days, she slowly recovered. She told me her name was Lyra. At least, that was the name she gave me. Lyra was mysterious. Whenever I asked where she came from or what happened to her craft, she avoided the question. She claimed she had been traveling and had an accident. It sounded like a strange story, but something about her made me trust her. She was intelligent, calm, and surprisingly curious about Earth. She asked endless questions about humans, our history, and our technology. Weeks turned into months. Lyra stayed in town, pretending to be someone new who had recently moved there. She learned quickly, too quickly sometimes. Within a few months, she spoke and behaved exactly like a normal human. But there were small hints that she wasn't. She could solve complex problems in seconds. She had incredible reflexes. And sometimes, late at night, I would catch her staring up at the stars with a look of deep sadness. Despite the mysteries surrounding her, we grew closer. She helped me in the garage, and we spent long evenings talking about life, the universe, and everything in between. She had a way of thinking that was different from anyone I had ever met. Eventually, I realized I had fallen in love with her. To my surprise, she felt the same. 2 years after the night I found her in the desert, we got married in a small ceremony with just a few friends. It was simple and perfect. For a while, life felt peaceful. But deep down, I always knew Lyra was hiding something. The truth came 5 years later. It started with strange lights appearing in the sky across the world. Governments tried to hide it, but people were seeing enormous ships entering Earth's orbit. Panic spread quickly. News channels called it the beginning of an alien invasion. One night, while we were watching the chaos unfold on television, Lyra suddenly turned pale. "They've found me," she whispered. I looked at her, confused. "Who found you?" She took a deep breath. "My people." The room went silent. Then she told me everything. Lyra wasn't just an alien traveler. She was the supreme commander of the Aurelian Empire, one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Her ship hadn't crashed by accident. Years earlier, there had been a violent power struggle within her empire. A faction of warlords wanted to conquer other worlds, including Earth. Lyra opposed them. She believed civilizations should grow, without interference. To prevent a galactic war, she secretly fled with critical command codes that controlled the Empire's military fleet. But her enemies had spent years searching for her, and now they had finally arrived. I sat there in shock. You're telling me my wife is basically the ruler of a galactic empire? I said. She nodded slowly. I didn't want you to know. I wanted to live a normal life, just for a little while. Suddenly, the television screen flickered. A massive alien ship appeared above Earth's atmosphere, broadcasting a message across every network. A tall, armored alien spoke. Lyra Valen, Supreme Commander of the Aurelians. You cannot hide any longer. Surrender the command codes, or your adopted planet will be destroyed. My heart raced. Millions of lives were now tied to my wife's decision. Lyra stood quietly for a long moment, staring at the screen. Then she looked at me. I'm sorry, Daniel, she said softly, but I have to finish what I started. Within minutes, another ship descended toward the desert, the same place where I had first found her years ago. But this one was fully functional. Lyra had secretly repaired it over time. Before leaving, she placed her hand on my face. You showed me something my people forgot long ago, she said. Compassion. I didn't want her to go, but I knew she had to. Her ship launched into the sky, disappearing into the darkness. For the next 12 hours, the world watched the greatest battle in human history. Thousands of alien ships clashed in orbit above Earth. Bright explosions lit up the sky like artificial stars. Then suddenly, everything stopped. The hostile fleet powered down. A new transmission appeared on every screen across the planet. Lyra stood on the command bridge of a massive flagship. Her voice was calm but powerful. The conflict is over. The Aurelian Empire will not invade Earth. From this day forward, we will protect this world as an ally. Behind her, hundreds of alien ships turned away and left Earth's orbit. The war was over. Weeks later, Lyra returned to Earth. But things were different now. Governments knew who she was. Scientists wanted to study her technology. The entire world knew the truth. Despite everything, she came back to our small desert town. Back to me. I could rule the entire galaxy, she told me one evening as we watched the sunset together. But this, she said, holding my hand, is still the life I choose. Today, Earth is part of a peaceful alliance of worlds. Technology has advanced faster than anyone imagined. And sometimes, when people ask me how humanity survived its first contact with aliens, I tell them the truth. The most powerful leader in the galaxy didn't conquer Earth. She fell in love with a mechanic and decided our world was worth saving.